Hello, my name is Guillermo, and my team members are Anindya and Roy, and we are VoltEdge Advisors Sustainable Energy Solutions. Today, we're going to present Terra et Sol, repurposing Seraphi well to increase solar energy output. So what is the value of this work? The value of this work is to expand Seraphi energy into the United States business by incorporating other energy sources or technologies with the existing Seraphi well TM solution. This is going to create a hybrid solution capable of sustaining baseload energy, but also to boost the energy output. So what is our recommendation? Our recommendation is to Seraphi should enter to the US market by partnering with a large cap solar power company. We're going to mention that after, and also to execute hybrid solar and geothermal solution. So this conclusion was made by following these steps. So first, we identify the best technology to pair with geothermal. Then we do a market analysis. We analyze the competition. We investigate about the industry environment. We plan a market entry strategy. We do a risk evaluation, and we reach the final conclusions. So let's talk about enhanced geothermal systems. And for doing this, we want to start by identifying two types of technologies. We have the traditional technology and we have the developing technology. In case of electricity generation, the traditional tech, we have conventional geothermal plants, right, to generate electricity from heat, thermal energy, right? And we have the enhanced geothermal systems, such as the Seraphi solution, that can also produce electricity from thermal energy. Other applications are heating and cooling. And here we have geothermal heat pumps, and we also have EGS for direct use. Something to point out is that Seraphi is a monobore advanced geothermal system. It's a closed-loop system, which requires fluid injection, but it doesn't require extraction. It's not dependent on underground hot water reservoirs and can be installed virtually anywhere. Now, we're going to present our decision matrix. In your left-hand side, you can see our candidates from solar PV, solar CSP, onshore wind, marine, and so on. And in the vertical axis, you can see the metrics that we're using. We are using the LCOE, the power output, the emissions, and the logistics. So the color code in green, you can see a good score for pairing with geothermal. In yellow, we have the moderate score, and in red, we have bad score. And in gray, we only have for the cases where these metrics are not applicable. So as you may see from this table, solar PV and solar CSP are our best candidates, followed by waste heat, right? So we are aware that Seraphi has the solution to use waste heat to generate electricity. So that's why we are considering waste heat as well. Let's talk about target market and size. First of all, we did a TAM analysis, our total addressable market. In your vertical axis, you have the revenue in billions of dollars, and your horizontal axis, you have the years going by 5 years, right? Every 5 years. So you can see that the TAM has been increasing, and we expect in 2028 that we're going to have 39.43 based on the information we found. Also, we did a CIGR analysis where we analyzed the last 10 years from 2018 to 2028, right? And the percentage is 17.14, which is favorable for this industry. Now, let's go to the map. In the map, we have distribution or percentage of establishments. As you may see, California has the largest establishments in the US for solar power. Also, it's important to mention that they have $5.8 billion in revenue, and it's the highest revenue in the whole US. However, Nevada has the fastest growth in this industry by 23.9%. Also, California has the largest or the most employees with 2010.
Hello there, I'm Roy, and I'll be starting with a discussion about the finances of Seraphi. The company has been invested in by the likes of NetZero, Geolog, and Ignis Energy. They have also raised a round of financing in August of 2022 with a target of $15 million for foreign expansion. Seraphi has also entered into partnerships with companies like Weatherford International in the US, iGas Energy in the UK, and Greenvale Energy in Australia. Considering multiples of financing amounts and revenues from partnerships and other services, we can estimate the valuation of Seraphi to be in the ballpark of $150 million to $250 million US dollars. With that being said, we can move on to the target customer base for the proposed hybrid energy solution. It is clear from the research performed by the US Information Administration that photovoltaic solar power is going to play a critical role in renewable energy over the next years and decades. In that time, the energy required in the industrial sector is predicted to rise by over 36%. And at the same time, the country is moving towards reducing and in time eliminating carbon-based energy generation in many states, including our target areas of California and Nevada. So we recommend that Serify should target industries in those states as the potential customer base rather than, say, residential or commercial customers. Next, we will look at the competitors that Serify will be going up against in the US market. Their competition in the US is geothermal industry in the US, which is at the growth stage of its life cycle. The size of this industry is considerably smaller than the solar power industry in the US, and geothermal has generated $1.8 billion US dollars in revenue in 2021 and is expected to enjoy a 3% CAGR for the period of 2021 to 2026. Three major players grab over 50% of the market, with Calpine being the biggest of them. BHE Renewables is the disruptor and Ormat technology is the rising star in this industry. And the three major technologies being used are dry stream, flash, and binary, all of which are traditional geothermal technologies. Serify Well, on the other hand, is an advanced geothermal system, giving Serify an edge over the competition. More importantly, all the major players in the US operate geothermal plants and cater to electricity suppliers directly, something Serify is not looking to do. This softens the competition intensity for Serify. Next, we go to the barriers to entry in the US market. In order to evaluate the barriers to enter the geothermal market, we have analyzed Porter's 5 forces, which paint a picture of the microenvironment of the industry. The 5 forces, namely intensity of rivalry, supplier power, buyer power, threat of new entrants, threat of substitutes. These are individually scored. The result is displayed on a spider plot, and the details of the scoring mechanism are given in a supplementary slide. The major barriers to entry are: number 1, high concentration of geothermal projects in our target location; number 2, high competition to secure government assistance; number 3, low investment in the geothermal energy in general. Our proposed partnership model insulates Serify from the first two barriers, since in this approach, Serify wouldn't need fresh land access. Their partner solar company would also benefit from being able to take advantage of the policies and tax breaks that boost geothermal energy. The key takeaway is that the barriers to the entry in the geothermal industry in the US is high, and it is increasing. So the perfect time for Serify to enter is now. Next, we come on to the macro environmental factors. We've also performed an analysis of the macro environmental factors by doing a pestle analysis, which gives us an overview of the various types of challenges that might prove to be a barrier for entry for Serify. I'll be going through a few of the points here, such as the political factors, like the Energy Policy Act, which provides loan guarantees for developing emission reducing technologies. Then we come on to economic factors. There we can take a look at the power purchase agreements, which benefit energy producers by reducing the implementation costs. Socially, solar power enjoys a very high popularity among the population. Technologically, the threat of disruptive technology is low, which reduces the risk of going all in on solar. And in terms of the environmental factors, the lack of greenhouse gas generation is a huge win. And coming to legal factors, certifications and solar contractor licenses might be required depending on the state, and that is something to definitely keep in mind. More information about the pestle analysis can be found in the supplementary slides. I'll now hand you over to Anindya, who's going to talk numbers and see us out. Thank you.
So, what's in it for a major solar company like NextEra? Why should they partner up with Serify? We argue that this partnership will increase NextEra's annual revenues by 14.6%, even under the most conservative estimates. From NextEra's financial statements, we find that in 2020, they produced 9.42 billion kilowatt hours of solar energy and generated a revenue of $3.416 billion. Integrating Serify's technology would increase the cost of electricity production by 3 cents per kilowatt hour, amounting to an annual increase of $282 million. But the gain in revenue achieved from this integration would outweigh the gain in cost. Key assumptions here are that the hybrid technology would increase solar panel efficiency by 15% at worst and 25% at best. Under these assumptions, the increase in annual revenue is shown in the table below. $501 million annual revenue increase for 15% efficiency gain, $678 million for 20% efficiency gain, and $847 million for a 25% efficiency gain. The corresponding annual profit increases are $219 million, $396 million, $565 million, respectively. Now, what's in it for our client, Seraphy? How much money would they make from this alliance? In order to make the financial forecast, we make another very conservative assumption. Seraphy's gross profit is 40% of their share of the revenue. We advise that Seraphy should claim a 5% share of the revenue increase of NextEra. We also estimate that an initial investment of $20 million would be required. This is based on Seraphy's August 22 fundraise and existing capitals. The results of these estimates and assumptions show that for a 15% increase in efficiency, a period of 2 years is needed to have a full return on investment. For a 20% increase in efficiency, 1 year and 6 months would be required. And for a 25% increase in efficiency, a return on investment could be achieved in as little as a year and 2 months. In order to maximize profit for Seraphy, we propose the following business proposal. We propose a partnership deal with NextEra of 3 to 5 years duration. Seraphy would generate a net profit 2 years onwards based on the estimates already presented. Should negotiations fail, other solar industry leaders such as Consolidated Edison should be considered. Finally, we analyze the risks involved, the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. The risk matrix here delineates the major risk factors on 2 aspects, likelihood and consequences. Unlikely factors with low impact or consequence are cause of little concern, whereas likely factors with high consequences should be carefully considered. Depreciation of solar energy facilities in general stands out to be a major risk factor on these measures. One should also be wary of possible infrastructure damage due to severe weather. Even though Seraphy well is relatively immune to severe atmospheric conditions, solar panels are very susceptible. Some other risk factors to keep in mind are cyber attacks, competition with other energy sources, revenue volatility of renewable energy, and technological disruption in geothermal industry in particular. Next, we move on to the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. The main strengths of our proposition is that the partnership model with solar has a high and decreasing barrier of entry, high profit, high revenue per employee, and great governmental assistance. Major weaknesses are high customer concentration, high capital requirements. There are huge opportunities for revenue growth and availing tax credits. One major threat is a potential decline in the price of natural gas. Finally, conclusions and next steps. We conclude by remarking the following key takeaways. Seraphy should enter the US market by partnering with NextEra Energy for 3 to 5 years. Seraphy should claim a 5% share of revenue increase from NextEra. With conservative estimates of gross profit margin of 40% and efficiency gain due to hybridization of 15%, Seraphy will break even in 2 years at worst. With more optimistic estimates, this could be achieved in 14 months. As next steps, Seraphy should focus on allocation of funds, product market fit and optimization in solar photovoltaics with our partner, and legal and regulatory alignment. With these concluding remarks, we thank you for your attention.